Joining us now, Congressman Andy Biggs, co-chair of the Border Security Caucus and chairman of the House Freedom Caucus. Congressman Biggs, wonderful to see you. Thank you for joining us tonight.
My pleasure. Good to be with you.
I want to start with you by talking about the Biden immigration plan, a pause on deportations, this reorientation to loosen the rules. But you've got a federal judge in Texas that is halting some of those policies. So the question now is, where does this fight go? Is there enough power in the Republican Party to push back against these policies?
Well, we have to keep pushing back at the federal level, that's for sure. And what we're seeing, too, is the state legislatures, such as in Texas and other states along the border, they want to go forward. And then you're going to see states' attorneys general file these lawsuits like you saw in Texas. And that's why we have the temporary stay on these deportations, that order that President Biden issued. So you're going to continue to see that, because we have to do that, because the incentives alone are producing caravans again. People are massing at the borders, and we're already apprehending now over 3,000 people a day. So when you start looking at that, you're almost up, you're probably 2/3 of the way up already from the surge of 2019. So this is a big deal to us.
And Congressman, it's no coincidence that the judge is in Texas. When you think about the American people that are impacted first by illegal immigration, literally because of their proximity, certainly Texas comes to mind. And those are the people that are seeing the influx here. You wrote a letter, you were one of 50 to sign a letter to the president outlining what we've been seeing as a result of some looser policies already. Tell us what's in it, and tell us what you're asking him.
Well, we're basically asking to reconsider his policies, which are providing incentives. So when you provide incentives or magnets, people respond. You and I respond in different aspects of our lives to incentives, and that's what happens on the border. The cartels are already advertising again. NGOs are advertising again to form caravans, and so you're starting to see this influx coming in. And I see it in my state, a border state of Arizona, where we have people that, at 12:01, just a little after the inauguration evening, we had 5 unaccompanied minors come in. Even the Biden administration has opened up Carrizo Springs, which is an unaccompanied minor detention facility that they're now calling some kind of transition home. But when it was President Trump, they called it a detention facility, which it wasn't. But that's what we're seeing, and they're going to see a massive surge here. And so we're asking to reconsider his policies. And look at what's going to happen, because it'll impact us economically. It'll impact us on the border as well. Human trafficking up, drug smuggling up, all of that's taking place even today.
Congressman, your take on the impeachment proceedings, the vote showing that it is constitutional to proceed, your thoughts?
Well, there's nothing out of that was unexpected today. I think President Trump is not going to be convicted. I mean, the facts speak to his case, and of the Constitution and the process. All of these things are on the former president's side, and I think that you're not going to get 17 senators to walk over and say, no, we're going to go there, because the fact of the matter is, when the Democrats say today they're going to only rely on facts, and then they basically doctor videotape. So they're not relying just on facts. You have to look at the facts, you have to look at the law, you have to look at the process, and you have to look at the Constitution, and all those absolve President Trump.
Congressman Andy Biggs, great to see you tonight. Thank you.
Hey, thank you.